It's time to start your life the way it is meant to be. There's only one time when it will be too late, and you don't want to wait for that. This is Now or Never. The choice is yours. Your host is Karen Wright. Today you're about to meet some amazing people. The stories are not always happy ones, but they define a healing process. Listen with an open mind and an open heart. Now, here is Karen Wright.
Thank you, listeners, for being here with us. We have an amazing show today. Our theme is about planting seeds of health into our body, whether it's mental, physically, spiritual, emotionally. All of it has to do with the health. We're so excited with our two guests that are here with us today, Seema, Giri, and Brook Harris. Welcome. How are you both?
Brook Barney. Very well.
I'm Brook Barney. Sorry. Oh, Seema, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. And Karen, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Brook, my apologies. My goodness, here we go.
No worries at all, Karen. Thank you so much for having me today.
Of course. Of course. And like always, listeners, thank you for taking the time and choosing now to be with us on this great, great day. Before we get going, let's get grounded. This is my favorite part. So if you're driving the car, keep your hands on the steering wheels, keep your eyes open, but just focus in with us on what we're going to do here, okay? What I'd like to do is close your eyes and wrap your arms around yourself like you're giving yourself a big hug, okay? So close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and out your mouth. Another deep breath in and out your mouth. Allowing that air as you're breathing it in to embrace your whole entire body. Take another deep breath in and blow out. Now, while you're here, just squeeze your shoulders a little bit harder, like a big hug, giving yourself a big hug, and repeat 3 times. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love. Take another deep breath in and blow out. And then as we release, I want you to take your 4 fingers and tap 3 times on your chest. Accept, accept, accept. And take another deep breath in. And release. Now, every week we have an affirmation for the week. And I pulled the card. I haven't even looked at it yet. My guests don't even know what the card says. So listeners, I want you to think what comes to your mind when this card is read. What is the first thing you think of? Okay, how does it apply to you? So let's see what the card said. The card says, I am compassion. I am compassion. Okay. Brook, would you share with the listeners what came to your mind when that was read to you?
Oh, yes. This is a beautiful affirmation, and it's been very near and dear to me recently. So I am compassion when my heart is full and my boundaries are in place.
That's beautiful. When your heart is full and boundaries are in place. Boundaries are very important. Boundaries are hard for people to have.
They are.
So I love that you brought that into perspective today. Thank you. Seema, what about you?
I love that card. I am compassion. It brought to me that it's a way of being. That's who I am. It's not something I have to produce extra when I'm either with myself or with anyone else, especially with myself. I think it's so much easier to find compassion for others, no matter what they have done. But when we do slightly things that is not the way we want it, we are so hard on ourselves. So it's nice that that's my way of being, and I am compassionate to myself as well.
That's very important too, right? Being compassionate within yourself, because we are the number one worst judge on ourselves. Am I wrong?
No, absolutely right.
Correct. Yeah.
Or is it only me?
We are our own critic, aren't we?
We are. And it's crazy how that happens. But I love that. If we are kinder to ourselves, we will be kinder to everyone else around us. And so that is what I think is really important. So listeners, keep that in the forefront of your thoughts today. I am compassion. And with that compassion, we're going to be learning about how to plant seeds of health into our body. Because part of compassion is that loving ourselves, just like Seema said, loving ourselves and not judging ourselves. So I appreciate both of my guests for sharing with us those great insights that you each had. So thank you so much for that. So I would like to introduce our first guest today. I'm going to start with Brook, Barney. Okay, Brook, I'm going to read her bio, explain a little bit about her and the wonderful, unique, authentic person that she is. So Brook Barney is a certified holistic, integrative nutrition health coach. Brook's focus is on stress, reduction, sustained balance, and elevated health using external nature, such as nature, whole foods, and energy, and your nature within, which includes emotional, spiritual, and mental. She has a Bachelor of Science in Business and a Nutrition Health Coach certificate from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. Her research into functional holistic health started at the age of 19, when Brook was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis. For the past 20 years, she did her best maintaining her health while working a demanding corporate management position and raising 2 beautiful children, one being extra special. Brook now guides others to elevate health and a life full of love and energy. This is her passion and purpose in life, and she feels so much gratitude in helping others. Brook, I love you.
Oh, I love you too, Karen. I love our instant connection we've had.
So we had that, and I love people. I love networking. Nate Graven was our massage guy. He connected us together, which was amazing. And we live like a mile away. We're not that far from each other. So this is great. So, Brook, tell me what happened when you first were diagnosed at the age of 19 with rheumatoid arthritis. Like, were you just like blown away? What were the symptoms? What was going on with your life? Tell listeners a little bit about this.
Yes, well, I was young, right? I was having fun with my friends. I had little care in the world, really. It was just an enjoyable life. And I noticed one day that my hands and my feet just started to ache. And they just hurt. And I went to my mom and I said, I told her of this, and she said, I believe I know what you have because my aunts all have this. And it's a crippling arthritis, and I'm so sorry. And of course she broke down, which then I broke down. We went to a rheumatologist who confirmed, yes, you have RA, and we're not sure how long you will live. So at 19, yeah, that is just devastating news, right? You're just starting your life, yet you're told it could possibly end sooner than expected. So he put me on some medication, and 3 weeks later, I said, I can't do this. I know there's a natural way. I always just had that intuition. My intuition has always been very high. So I started my natural path from there.
Okay. So did you just start talking to people? Were you introduced into a integrative wellness center? How did that happen?
No, I mean, if we think back over 20 years ago, there was no internet. The networking was not as easy as it is these days, right? So I was bedridden at the time, and I asked my mom, I said, can you please go to the library? Because again, no internet. And I need you to just get books on natural health and wellness. And then I just read and I read and I read. And then one day I started cooking for myself. I had her get particular vegetables and fruits and started detoxing and started walking again and moving. And then I was introduced to a wonderful, wonderful person that I could say basically saved my life, which is he was a chiropractor that had RA and had overcome it. And he was in Syracuse. Mm-hmm. And he was my guide. He was my guide at a young age that said, yes, you can do this, and you can do this through nutrition and mindfulness. And he started me on that path. And I'm so grateful for him.
So with the nutrition, tell us what are like some things, because now that you're the integrative health coach. So if I were to come to you and say, I have RA.
Yes.
What specific diet do you go on? And then explain kind of the diet, maybe foods you should not eat. Mm-hmm. And then also, or you should avoid. And then tell a little bit about the mental part.
Yeah, sure. Great questions. Well, there's, at least I grew up, and a lot of us grew up on a processed type diet, not necessarily intentionally, but the packaged foods was the norm, or even just, regular lasagna and spaghetti, just tacos, pizza. I mean, that was mac and cheese, typical child food, our diet. So the first thing we do is remove a lot of the processed foods. Your body really is challenged to digest processed foods. Removing the sugars, that is a big culprit. Reducing your caffeine, watching your animal protein intake, and then increasing your water. And then really focusing on those anti-inflammatory foods. So those are your fish oils, your fatty oils that are so beneficial for you, or like avocado oil, olive oil, your turmeric and ginger. There's a lot of foods out there that our earth offers us that is built for medicine. It's there to help you. It's nature's medicine. So that would be the first focus on food.
Okay. So how would, so let's talk a little bit about the mental part, the emotional part when someone comes in, because like you said, you're bedridden and at 19, and that takes a toll mentally, I'm sure.
It does. And I think you have two thought processes, right? You have, I want to live, or take me now. And my choice was, I want to live, and I had to emotionally connect with that. I had to emotionally know that I can do this. I can do this through food. I had to believe in myself. I had to connect on a level that was deeper than myself. I had to turn it over to a higher power and turn it over to the universe and say, guide me. And I believe in you and I trust in you.
That's wonderful that you're able to do that. Now, as you're coaching, you went through and you become a coach. So do you work out of an office? I mean, how do you?
I do. I offer everything. Thankfully, COVID has brought us all online, but we were able to connect. So I do a lot of online sessions, a lot of online programs. I also meet in person. I have an office on 25th Street in Ogden that I meet. So either way, virtual or in person.
I love that. I love that opportunity that you're giving to other people, and that there is an option out there besides the medicine. I mean, I personally have my youngest daughter. You know, she fights with RA, and she's on her journey of learning and experiencing and what's working best for her. And so it's amazing that both of you, because Seema has a similar story that we're going to hear about, but the knowledge and the understanding that at the end of the day, you have the choice
right,
to get out of bed or to stay in bed.
Yes.
And that choice is really yours. And you're living now. And so I know life is busy with you. How did you manage? Because you were in corporate office for a while with your 2 kids and with your health.
Yeah, that phase of my life. So I was able at a younger age to really get my RA into remission. I was feeling wonderful, following my plan, and then I had kids. And of course, you heard one with special needs, which takes extra care. I got deeply into my corporate career, which I absolutely loved. It was a beautiful career in the outdoor industry, amazing people and coworkers. I traveled, I saw beautiful places, but at the same time, I was living in chronic stress. I was managing nannies from Japan. I was, that had canceled the next day, or my kids have to be to dance or piano or school. I was still managing my home life also. So over time, my health started to deteriorate again, and I was eating food while I was traveling, which I did the best I could, but it wasn't sufficient. It wasn't a sustainable plan, right?
Right.
So I was almost bedridden again 2 years ago, and I had to make the choice. I had the opportunity actually to make the choice of changing careers, and so first I did it for myself. I put everything into myself. I went back to school for myself to learn more. How do I get my health in order? And then during that time, I realized this is my purpose. This is my passion. I'm here to help others. I'm here to show others. I'm here to guide others to health. And so I had wonderful family help, family support through my career, luckily. But it was an up and down battle. I would overexhaust myself for 8 months during the ski season, winter season, and then I would detox for the remaining 4 months and really, I'd work out and eat well, and I would get it to where I would be able to go into the next season, and then I'd do it all over again. Quite unbalanced, but I managed. But now, it's beautiful. I'm in balance.
You're in balance.
Yes, and I can plan. I can have a career. I can have my family life. Do everything I need to, but it's in balance.
I love that, Brook. Thank you for sharing with us. And listeners, I hope you received some information about if you know someone who is struggling with RA and if they need help. I mean, Brook is a great source of information. And before the end of the show, both of our speaker guests will be able to share their contact information to you all. We'll be right back.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Everyone knows a realtor. A seasoned realtor, Karen Wright, has the experience and the knowledge of this crazy market. Whether you are a first-time homeowner, downsizing, or divorced, Karen understands the importance of easing the pressure for her clients. A hands-on realtor, Karen has been known to paint rooms, box up toys, bring food to her exhausted clients, and even help them find movers and cleaners to help simplify the process. She reminds her clients to take a deep breath and trust in her. For your next real estate needs, remember Karen Wright at Realty Path Summit. Visit yourbestmoveyet.net.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
The book Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine, is authored by #1 international best-selling author Karen Wright. Karen's book invites readers to learn and grow through every aspect of her life. She invites all who have experienced any loss in their life to take time, read, and feel her words as she opens her soul page after page. Through each twist and turn of her journey, Karen invites her readers to heal and become the person you are truly meant to be. Find your truth, live now, and shine. Visit shinenowornever.com or look for the book on Amazon.com.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Welcome back, listeners. We just had the privilege of listening to Brook Barney and her story of health and wellness and how she proceeded through her life and journey to find what worked for her with her arthritis to live a balanced and compassionate life for herself. And we are so thrilled to have her on the show today. And it was very enlightening knowing that there's alternative medicine for autoimmune systems. So I appreciate you so much, Brook, for being here today.
Thank you, Karen.
Now we get to our next guest is Seema Giri. Seema Giri's personal testimony and her extensive expertise makes her a go-to expert to all who want to tell their own stories and impact the world through her Shine Your Brilliance as an author program and storytelling platform. Her clients write high-impact books, sharing wisdom they gained from life-altering experiences. Over the last 20 years, she has helped nearly 100,000 leaders expand their consciousness, tap into their inner power, and unleash their true potential as they become unstoppable in business and life. Seema is a two-time #1 international best-selling and award-winning author. Seema is proud to have co-authored the book called The Authorities with New York best-time sellers author Dr. John Gray, Marcy Shimoff, and Raymond Aaron. She talks in this book about how she transformed her life from being bedridden in chronic pain to becoming a successful entrepreneur. So Seema, woo! Raise the roof! Here we go!
Oh, wow, Karen, thank you so much for having me. And I couldn't believe my bio that you were sharing. It just seems still seems so unreal to me.
I know, I'm reading. I'm like going, what? 100,000 people? I'm so I'm just honored, like bowing to you. I just love you, Seema. And I had the opportunity to be a co-author with one of the books that she just launched, Break Free to Peace, Love, and Unity. And I was so blessed to be able to write a chapter in this book that she co-authored and brought everyone together. So this is how Seema and I met. And what an opportunity of a lifetime for me. And you continue to wows me. You're wowsing me.
Oh, thank you, Karen. You're too kind. I love you so much.
So tell us a little bit, because I know, Seema, you have a story similar to Brook's. And so I would love the listeners to hear what you did to go through your little time in your life and what motivated you and what keeps motivating you to do what you're doing here.
Sure. Thank you, Karen. Well, like Brook, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I had 3 types of autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis, hyperthyroid, and fibromyalgia. And like Brook, it started early in my 20s. I had just recently gotten married. I had a great job. We were partying 3 times a week. Life was good. And soon after, I started feeling really sick. Unlike Brook, 11 doctors called me a hypochondriac as I was trying to find out what was wrong. And I was beginning to think that maybe I really am crazy. And at this point, because doctors are experts, my family was also thinking, just get over it. Everyone has a tough life. But I couldn't understand my tough life at that point because things were going great. It was like Brooke was saying, it was living my life. We were on our own. It was a lot of fun. But listening to yourself, knowing yourself is really important. But at this time, as an Indian family, a lot of things are just given to us and told to us what to do, especially if you're a girl. So I was always told what to do and how to do and when to get married and what to study, all of those things. So relying on my intuition and my inner wisdom was really hard because I didn't have that practice of making my own decisions, besides what I'm going to wear and what I'm going to eat. That was
right.
it. So, but luckily I heard the barely audible voice inside of me, that small voice, that's annoying sometimes. It comes up, it gives you that, lets you know that something is wrong and you shouldn't go a particular direction. That's the inner voice. And it told me that there's something wrong. You have to keep finding someone else. Go to another doctor. Go to another doctor. So as exhausted as I was, I kept doing that, kept listening. And the 12th doctor finally believed me. Because up to this point, the other doctors, whatever test they were doing, it was coming out normal. This doctor was young and handsome. And
that's always a plus.
Always a plus. And he did some different types of testing, which showed that I had autoimmune issues. And back then, in the early 90s, late 90s actually, autoimmune issue wasn't really a concept. And fibromyalgia was a bucket that they would throw things in that they didn't know about. So he said, these are the 3 things that I had. And that was the happiest day of my life, Karen. If I wasn't that shy back then, I probably would have jumped up and hugged him. And I cried. I was so happy because now I knew what I was working with. One, it told me that I was not crazy. I did not lose my mind, And 2, that, I could listen to my intuition and be right. And 3, that now I have something to work with. There's something we can do about it. And at that time he said, there's no cure for this. There's nothing we can do. Luckily, I wasn't told that my life was going to end soon. But he went on to put me over time on over 25 medications.
Oh, wow.
Most of them were steroid-based and all. But it helped me get back on track. But after I had my son, I became bedridden. The pain was much worse. And I couldn't even pick him up, Karen. I couldn't pick up my son. I couldn't hold him. I couldn't snuggle with him. All the joys of motherhood I could not enjoy. And then finally one day, my husband had put him on the bed next to me. And when I looked at him, I was like, you know what? There's no way I can live like this. I saw the whole future of him growing up and me not being a part of his life, him not knowing me. And what if he didn't love me because of that? That really scared me to death. And I said, no way. There is no way I'm going to be like this. So like your show, now or never.
Right.
It's my choice. And I'm going to decide that I am not going to live like this. I'm not going to be bedridden. And I'm going to be an active mom and do everything with my baby.
I love that. That was what Brooke was talking about, that mental switch that she works with her clients. Now I'm going to change. It's going to work. It's going to happen because you decide. You're in control. I love that, Seema. So through all of that, as you became healed and you changed your eating habits and things like that also, right? You applied all that health into your system. Is that correct?
Surprisingly, when I asked my doctor, is there anything I can do around food? Will that change? And they said no. But I did anyway. Like Brooke, I had this angel come into my life. She was a really good family friend. She knew about whole food eating and about whole foods, and she introduced me to a whole food supplement called Juice Plus. So I started with that, and that just got me back on track. In 4 months, I was able to move around, take care of myself. Within 6 months, I was able to hold my baby, and I just kept deleting stuff. I deleted, removed processed foods, removed sugar, removed, Coke, those kind of stuff. And then I started working on my mindset. I've had several traumas in my childhood that led to this, and the body kept going. My body didn't run out of gas. I didn't realize I was operating on empty for a really long time. So I needed to heal those kind of things, change my mindset about me. Like you said, I am worthy of love. There was many times I didn't feel I was worthy of love or anything else that I deserved. And then I added on, I had to do that emotional connect, and added on spirituality. And before that, as I changed my eating habits, I added in exercise. So it was the integration of all four things that really helped me do the final level of healing, especially when I added in the spirituality aspect and learned to surrender.
I love that you brought that into it, because I think there's a lot of us that carry past trauma, stress from our childhood that we're sometimes don't even realize it. And that stress has continued to be involved with that. So it's part of us, right? Our DNA, it just sets in. And over time, it comes forth. No matter how far we try to push it down, it's going to come forward. And until we deal with that trauma that hurt us or something that affected us in our life and as a child, and we're able to heal that and then continue to release and let go. You acknowledge it, you work through it. It's, and you thank you for being here, but now it's time. I don't need you anymore. And allowing that to leave the body. And I think that's very important. And keeping the stress level, like you said, Seema, is wonderful, is all in check. So tell us a little bit about your 100,000 people.
Sure. Well, my husband and I had a project management consulting and training business, which we did worldwide. And this was also during the time where, it was overcoming my health challenges. And by this time I had two children. My daughter was also born at this time. So we had moved to India. I was born there, but I grew up in the States, and we had the opportunity to go to India to take this new concept called project management. And when we saw the possibilities, we brought in Project Management Institute from the U.S. They're a body it's a nonprofit organization that provides certification in project management professionals. So when they saw it, and they got really excited, they came and opened 2 offices. So we nearly transformed part of the nation. I wouldn't take credit for the nation, but we transformed with the project management concept of utilizing that to really run your projects on time, on target, within budget. But then I was also able to take this concept and apply it to life as well. So through our project management training classes, which we were doing, we were able to transform the lives of 100,000 people directly that we trained, but also indirectly several hundreds of thousands, because people were uplifting their lives. They were getting new career options. They were working. They were expanding. So we really touched a lot of people. And during that time, we had a team of 250 people also. But as I was training, I was out in the field training, creating the curriculum and all of that for the project management certification. I undoubtedly had to work with burnout. There were a lot of people coming out, how do you deal with burnout? How do you deal with team burnouts? I have so much absenteeism. People are just not showing up, or they're just not getting along with each other. All these aspects that really affects the bottom line of the project. So I found myself really helping people on the emotional level, on the mindset level, on health and wellness, on rest. Because contrary to the popular belief, when you rest, when your body rests, you become more productive. It needs that time to relax and rest, and which we don't. We've made our bodies into machines. So that's how I had the chance of working with over 100,000 people.
That is amazing. And I love what you said, because at the end of the day, it is about your body. And the compassion, that's our word, about our body, because so often we will work and push through things. And to tell you guys the truth, by 8 o'clock, I'm done. Yes. I'm like in bed, passed out. And I go to bed early and I get up early, because I'm an early bird. I like to go work out, hike the dogs, do whatever in kind of the routine. But I need my sleep. And the crazy thing is about all of that, when I was little, I used to go to bed. Like there'd be parties going on. My parents would be hosting parties and I would just sneak off and go to bed. And then I'd be in trouble because I left the party. I'm like, what the heck? Come on, people. Try and take care of my body here. But I appreciate both of you so much. Listeners, we have another break coming soon, but I want you to know that we're coming back with Seema and with Brook, and we're going to learn a little bit more about their lives, and each of them are going to share with us how to get a hold of them, because it's very important for my listeners to be able to contact my guests, because my guests are wonderful and they're here to help. They want you to reach out to them. Just like I love when you reach out to me, when you email me and ask me questions. That email again is Karen@shinenowornever.com, or you can go to my website, shinenowornever.com. And I enjoy so much as the listeners come in and have questions. They'll write to me about what the affirmation was or what it meant to them. And I love that. I love the correspondence that we're building with each other. So listeners, thank you for your support. And thank you for always having the great questions that you have, because life, if we don't ask questions, if we're not a student, if we don't learn how to plant those seeds of health inside of our bodies to grow and to bloom, then what? Our choices can be taken away from us to where we don't have the choice to live now because of wrong choices. So think about that, and we're going to go into a break, and we'll be right back.
Follow us on Twitter for more great ideas at Voice America Empowerment.
The book Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine, is authored by #1 international best-selling author Karen Wright. Karen's book invites readers to learn and grow through every aspect of her life. She invites all who have experienced any loss in their life to take time, read, and feel her words as she opens her soul page after page. Through each twist and turn of her journey, Karen invites her readers to heal and become the person you are truly meant to be. Find your truth, live now, and shine. Visit shinenowornever.com or look for the book on Amazon.com.
Where can you listen to some of the world's top life coaches ready to dish out success tips and entrepreneurial guidance? The Voice America Empowerment Channel will do just that. Whether it's personal growth, building a better business, or inspirational life stories, make it a daily habit to tune into our programs. From weight loss and personal branding to law of attraction and increased happiness, you'll find it every day at VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
Everyone knows a realtor. A seasoned realtor, Karen Wright, has the experience and the knowledge of this crazy market. Whether you are a first-time homeowner, downsizing, or divorced, Karen understands the importance of easing the pressure for her clients. A hands-on realtor, Karen has been known to paint rooms, box up toys, bring food to her exhausted clients, and even help them find movers and cleaners to help simplify the process. She reminds her clients to take a deep breath and trust in her. For your next real estate needs, remember Karen Wright at Realty Path Summit. Visit yourbestmoveyet.net.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Welcome back, everyone. We're so glad you're tuned in with us to our wonderful guests today, Seema Giri and Brook Barney. Both have shared their experiences with autoimmune diseases and how they survived and how they kept going through health, through their nutrition, and through their mental stages through their lives. During break, we were talking a little bit because I have a personal just story with the AR. A close person, family member, has AR, and so I was, or RA, like AR. Sorry, flip the words, RA. But I wanted to know. I asked them both when they were pregnant, did it go away? And both of them had said yes. And so that, to me, there's some hormonal thing that happens when the woman gets pregnant that decreases the RA. And my thought, and I want your opinion on this, is just my thought. If it's estrogen or progesterone or testosterone, when you get pregnant, what increases? Is it possible to take that extra dosage after the fact and keep that hormone up? Brooke, what do you think about that?
Interesting. I think that's a little piece of the puzzle. That would be my thought on it. I haven't been one for the medication at all. My entire life, it's just I don't know what it is, but I can't take the medication. Not saying that it's a beautiful thing for a lot of people. I mean, it keeps them living right. It keeps them walking every day. But yeah, I'm sure there is some type of formula, but again, we're all just so bio-individual to say there's an exact formula. I don't believe so. It is baffling though that our symptoms do reside during pregnancy.
Right. I know. Seema, what are your thoughts?
I think that's a very interesting concept that maybe, it should be looked into. But I'm not sure, because during pregnancy, there's so many things happening, even at a spiritual level too.
Right.
So I think it's always a combination of things, but it's really worth looking into it, Karen.
I just had the little idea of like one of those moments when she was pregnant and she felt so good, and then after the fact, how it set back in, and I'm just like, oh. What can we do for these beautiful people with the health and things like that? So I think I'll have to look into it and see.
I think we have all, Seema, I'm sure you can agree, we've had so many aha moments throughout this, right? Like it has to be this. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's just this. It's just this. And then we finally just give in and say, no, it is this spider web. It's this major integrative system. It's everything. It's not one piece. It's not this, that. It's a combination.
Right. For example, Brooke earlier said avocados are really good and avocado oil. And I've been really eating healthy. I thought what was healthy for me. And I just got a gut biome test done. I'm eating all the wrong foods, it turns out.
And a lot of people will. So with my clients, I do work on a bio-individual basis because a lot of people will just prescribe one diet, right? And they're more so focused on just weight loss. Well, that doesn't necessarily work because when you're working with the gut and an individual person, they may not be able to eat spinach. And when you're telling someone to eat spinach, it could actually be having a negative effect on their body. So that's where I absolutely am a huge advocate of lab testing. So know your body, know it internally, know where you're deficient and where you need to supplement, know where you have genetic predispositions which aren't allowing for methylation in your body. And so that's a great point. One person's food is medicine and to another it's poison.
And you think you're eating healthy, right? You're under the presumption that you're eating healthy, so it's really good to get tested. That's a great thing you're doing, Brooke. But you have to, it's all about testing. But even when you're testing, like by removing foods, it's kind of hard. So lab or gut biome test is really good to know because your body's changing. And I think every decade you hit, your body is changing. So you need to be aware of, okay, what is the food for this decade, the things for this decade.
Right.
And Brook, with you helping people and doing those things, do you do all the testing in there at your office?
So I work with a functional nurse practitioner, and so she's in functional medicine, and so I work with the client, and I suggest have these particular labs looked at, and then she will do a full lab panel on them and get the results, and then so we just work in a combo.
That's awesome. I think that's good. That's like, I think that more people will be going or are going that integrated wellness where they want to be healthy. They don't want to take, drugs because there's always a side effect.
There is.
There's always a side effect with it. And that side effect can be worse than what you actually have.
Right.
It's I believe in Western medicine, but I believe in Eastern too, and bring them together.
I am so with you. I'm so grateful for both. They've been large parts of my life, especially having a son with special needs. I mean, he's alive because of conventional medicine. Mm-hmm. I'm so grateful, and there's such a beautiful place in the world for it. But a lot of chronic illnesses stem from the gut, right? And it's not just a symptom-based model as conventional medicine is. It's a root cause. We have to get to the root cause of the disease. And again, fixing the gut is key. Knowing your body, knowing your genetics, how does your body function inside? And then, as we all agree, the mental, the emotional, this, spiritual aspect, we have to have that mindset, the positive mindset of I can heal or you won't heal.
And I'm sure that is I saw my daughter just in pain, and it as a mom, there is nothing I could do for her. And when you're in so much pain, how are you able to come to terms and mind over matter? Like, how does someone do that? I saw her do it. It was day after day, but as a parent watching your child suffer, it just hurt me to see it.
It does hurt. I can relate mother to mother, again, having a son with special needs, and I've gone through so much with him just to keep him alive on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. He's now thriving, but the first 5 years of his life, it was life or death almost every day. And I feel for you, Karen. I also know that you can only influence people. You can't change them. It has to come from within. It has to come from that person. And those are the clients that I work with, is the ones that say, I'm ready for change, not I'm ready for the magic pill. Where is it?
I wish there was a magic pill.
It's also her journey, Karen. It's as painful as it is to watch. It is her journey. So one of the things I learned is, as soon as you ask yourself, what is the lessons learned for me? What is the lesson for me to learn also helps. And this really teaches you how to be in the present, because you're living from second to second. Mm-hmm. And you have to make those mindset changes from second to second. So that's been my learning out of all of these things. And then also sharing your story. There's so many things we just hold on to. We don't share. So I've realized that as you share, there's some things that you can only share with certain people, right? But share and get it out of your chest, get it out of your system. Accept, acknowledge, and resolve certain things. It's things that we hold on to. It's those negative self-talk that we're constantly playing in our heads over and over again. If you hit a rock over time, or even the mountains, you guys are in beautiful mountainous areas, right? If you hit it with a hammer long enough, you're going to see it chip slowly. You're going to see that mark. And that's what self-talk does. You don't notice it right away, but over time, it's very, very damaging. So if you can replace those thoughts slowly over time, that also helps.
I love that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much, Seema, and that the positive thinking, the affirmations. I would love you both to share with our listeners how they can get a hold of you. So, Seema, if you could share contact information with our listeners, that would be great.
Sure. You can reach me at Seema at seemagiri.com. That's SEEMAGIRI. And you can reach me on Facebook too, Shine Your Brilliance as an Author. I have a Facebook group there, Shine Your Brilliance as an Author. I'm also on LinkedIn. And my website is seemagiri.com. Again, SEEMAGIRI.com.
Great. Thank you. And Brook, will you share with our listeners too?
Yes, so everything is Natured Balance. My website, Natured Balance, Facebook, Instagram, Natured Balance. And if you'd like to email me, if you have any questions, how do I get started? How do I take back my life? How can I change my life? It's Brook at Natured Balance. That's BROOK at naturedbalance.com.
Wonderful. And remember, listeners, you can reach me at Karen@shinenowornever.com. Email me with your questions, sharing your ideas, how you loved our guest today. All of that above would be great. Or you can reach me on my website, shinenowornever.com. And as we come to a close, I hope you listeners enjoyed what was taught today through Seema and through Brook, through their knowledge of going through autoimmune diseases and how they were able to heal through their mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual journey to become the people they are today and giving back to others. They're here to help. Both of them are wonderful, wonderful role models. They have taken back their power. And that is so important. Remember, it's April. We get to plant the seeds of health. We get to take the time and decide what we want to put into our bodies, how we want to live. And our affirmation, I am compassion. Remember that for the week. Write it on your mirror. That's what I do. I write the affirmations on my mirror to help me remember. I am compassion. Remember, breath is the life that we have. Sending love and light to all of you. This is Karen, and I look forward to reaching out to you all next week, Wednesday. We will see you then.
Thank you for sharing your time with us. Now or Never, The Choice is Yours can be heard live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. We hope you'll join us again soon.